Hello, hello. So I have a little video about gene key 52, which is active in the collective field for the next 5 or 6 days. So 52, partner key is 58, dissatisfaction is 58. 52 has stress in her shadow, restraint in a gift, and stillness in a city. It's not one of the most popular keys because restraint doesn't sound so good to people until you dive in. So the stress, come to find out, it's collective. It's almost entirely collective, and it's especially present for people who are around other people. It is said that the human aura fills about half the room, and so when you have densely dense populations in the city, you're gonna feel more of it. You're gonna feel the stress of the city. And some of us who like to live in the woods know this very well, that we prefer escaping that and being far away from that because it is very difficult to rise above the frequency of stress entirely. But it's just might be a relief for you to just know that this is what's happening, this is what's in the collective. And when it comes, step into the field of restraint, because in the shadow we're doing two things. Either we're working our mind over time, it goes in loops because it believes that it can fix the stress, it can solve the stress. A lot of the times it's financial stress or stress of whatever am I going to do, uncertainty, providing education for our kids, or whatever it is. The mind tries to go on a hamster wheel to try to fix it. However, when we create something with fear within it, that seed of the fear will eventually explode the whole thing, as I've come to find out in the past, having created 2 7-figure businesses, still without the restraint, and as a reaction to this pressure that is on us to provide for ourselves this financial stuff, however it's touching us. When we create from underneath the pressure and as a reaction to this pressure, even a little seed will eventually, it will come and fall the house of cards. That is not to say that we should do nothing because we're stressed out. That means that we have to become aware and embrace the stress, just like with any other shadow in the gene keys. The recipe is the same. It's embrace, it's accept, it's allow, versus creating from it and reacting to it by running away from it. With every gene key, you have a repressive nature that is more the fear-based nature, and the reactive nature that is more towards the anger-based or pride-based. So the repressive natures tend to be stuck, right? So they will emotionally and mentally collapse because I cannot handle the stress and the pressure. And then oftentimes comes after long periods of the reactive nature, which is restless. We just do. And then we can't do anymore because we have burnt ourselves out and we hate it. We just don't want to do it. So we will do what? Nothing. We will collapse, right? So now I'm just going to wait for God to come and save me. That's my wounded inner masculine, right? I did this for 4 years. I collapsed because I didn't want the stress, and other reasons and other things and other trauma loops that were present, right? So we move between stuck and a restless, and both is a reaction to the mind that has to be mastered. This restraint, it's actually really wonderful. It has a title, Ecological Torque. Ecology has a lot of, to build sustainability, it takes a lot of restraint. We have to really take a step back. No, I need right now, but take a restraint and think about the long term. Think about the nervous system, think about the health. Take a step back, get back into resourcefulness. It's not an emergency right now. It's not, it's sometimes, feels like an emergency. I'm gonna run out of money tomorrow. but it's often not as emergency as we really think it is. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you really do have $15 on your bank account, but oftentimes it's just the frequency that we're experiencing with all the fear wrapped up onto it. So the restraint is the ability to take a step back and look at the mind, give it a hug. Yes, I know you're trying to protect me. Yes, I know a lot of this is just the collective stuff. I know that it is really hard for you. Talking to our inner child, it can be sometimes really difficult. Not making decisions from this. Pragmaticism, being in restraint, taking a step back. Okay, I'm feeling this fear. I don't really want to feel it. Is it justified? Is it just a collective? When it's not money, is it something else? Because once we have we chase the money, we make the money, and then what do you know? The fear, the stress gets restrained onto something else, then we fear losing it, or we fear something else, and then we start fearing crazy things um, that may not even have anything with money, but that fear finds itself in another way to enter. So I want to read a paragraph from Richard's book, from the Gene Keys on page 403. People may tend to devalue the 50-second gift because of the way it sounds. Restraint. Boring, right? Restraint does not, after all, sound particularly exciting or dynamic. Ironically, however, this is one of the most remarkable gifts in the whole human genome. This gift, like all other gifts, is about striking a balance between two extremes of energy. In this case, the energy of activity and passivity. In fact, no gene keys is more fundamental to human life than 50-second gene key. It determines the source signature of all activity in the world. Now hear this out. If you begin something from a place of fear, that seed of fear will infect every aspect of the expansion of that activity. Even though the smallest human actions can sometimes lead to the creation of vast empires, been there, done that, in the seed of fear, there is, if the seed of fear is there at the beginning, then like a virus, it will all pervade the structure and it will eventually bring the structure to the ground. So, this is where we as entrepreneurs and creators have to evaluate where we have, again, when we have exiled ourselves, when we have told ourselves that it's not okay to create and to receive, that it's not okay to charge money, because we have experienced ourselves in creating under that stress, in creating from greed in order to have more so that we can feel safe, right? There's nothing wrong with greed. It was a protective mechanism that helped and that served. Once we see it, once we embrace it, once we understand that all it was trying to do was protect us, but we no longer need to do that. We can bring it consciously, we can give it a hug, and we say, now I'm here. I don't need your greed to run any unconscious. Then we can step into aspiration, which is a different gene key. I don't even remember which one this is, 54 or something like that, I think. But it feels really related. And aspiration, healthy aspiration, is a gift. It's a good thing. Aspiration is not bad. Don't exile it. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, because it can come from a self commitment to the self. That's another gene key, commitment to the self. 29. Love for yourself, providing for yourself, honoring for yourself. This is where I am taking my power back and stepping into a business that feels good to me, including charging money for what I do, or barter, or whatever works in that situation, whatever works for the being, whatever works for me, whatever works for us all. But there has to be mutuality. When we step into, there's a pride, and I'm just going to serve, and hope people give back to me, and somehow I'm provided for. But when it's coming from this place of distortions and not really knowing our worth and our value and what we're providing, it only creates more stress, right? I just had a conversation with somebody about hosting breathwork here in Mount Shasta, and we were kind of thinking about making a community thing, making it free. And then I said, I don't want to leave it that example. I am here to show that you can build new earth while loving yourself by being honoring your financial responsibilities. There doesn't have to be a lot of financial responsibility. Clearly, we Alexi and I, our expenses are probably $1,200 a month, and it includes our bus payment and gas and all that, right? And food. So it doesn't have to be a whole lot of money that you need when you pick a nature-based lifestyle. And you don't need to go out and eat because you sit around a fire, outside, and you do some free events and you do some paid and whatever. I guess I'm contradicting myself because I do take advantage from some of the free events. So yeah, I guess there's something that I need to sort out within myself. But anyway, it doesn't have to be this rat race when you're spending five, six, seven, eight, nine, $10,000 a month. Been there, done that, right? I would spend 6 grand a month, 6 grand a pop on a psychedelic retreat on a week, and I did that 5 times. And it is okay to do that when you're in that space, and you don't have to, right? There's always ways to work with each other in a much more sustainable way that doesn't force you, that doesn't make you working 8-10 hour days, doing a job that you don't want. It does take some leaps, it does take some courage to step out of that. So anyway, that's what I have. I'm sharing this in my visionary circle as well as with the collective. So it's not this message. Every sentence is this message is not meant for everybody. It's it it was said the way that it was said, and it's not directed at many of you personally at all. But take what you will from it, and thank you so much for listening and hearing about this key. And I'm super curious to hear how you're stepping into restraint this week, and being centered around all the stresses that are coming and the money, and building from a very centered, restrained place, objectivity, and looking at things as they are, not through the mind of stress and pressure.